If you are a parent in Polk County, you probably already know about the Explorations 5 Children's Museum in downtown Lakeland, but we have a couple guests here today to tell us about some new things happening over at the museum. Today in the studio, we have from Explorations 5, Brenda Paul, the PR director, and Eddie Kleissler, the facilities director. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so many people already utilize the Explorations 5 Children's Museum all the time. It's been a staple in downtown Lakeland. Tell us a little bit about, before we get into this special event, tell us about some of the things that are at the museum that people might not know about.
Well, we have several floors of interactive exhibits, and we invite the children and the adults to come in and play and be a part of the exhibits that Eddie works on and keeps up to par for us. And just have fun together and learn a little bit in the process as well.
Okay, and now do they still have the oranges and the little public supermarket?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have lots of programs that we run for the children when they come into the museum, so there's lots of activities.
Okay, and most of the exhibits are permanent exhibits, right? They're there no matter when you go.
That's correct.
But you have a new one that's coming up, and it's going to be here for just a couple months. The Chagall for Children exhibit, right?
That's correct.
Okay, can you tell me about that?
Chagall for Children was developed by the Cole Children's Museum in the Chicago area in Illinois. And it is a large children's exhibit that has been traveling throughout the country for many, many years. And we're lucky to have it right now for several months through July of this year. It's already up and running, although we're debuting it officially at our Children's Festival on April 12th.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the Children's Festival and the big grand opening kickoff for the exhibit.
Okay, well, first of all, we should probably start by talking a little bit about Marc Chagall, who the exhibit is based on. Marc Chagall was a famous painter of the 20th century. He is a Russian French painter. He was born in the Russian Empire, which is now is part of Belarus, but spent most of his time in France and part of his time in the United States. And he painted a very whimsical style that has a lot of appeal to children. So he was a very good artist to be the basis for a children's exhibit because of the nature of his work. Very whimsical, children love his work, bright colors, people flying through the air and lots of animals, and so I think that's the basis for the exhibit. And the exhibit has 14 multi-faceted exhibit components, very interactive. Each one is based on one of his famous paintings. So there's the rooster and I Am the Village and et cetera, where you can build a blue house out of Lincoln logs related to his painting the blue house, or build a stained glass window. It's a puzzle based on his famous stained glass work called American Window. So that gives you a little sense of there's just so much for children and parents to do at this exhibit.
It sounds like this exhibit is going to be a really great way to introduce kids to art that they will hopefully be able to take with them into adulthood. Because some of the exhibits at Explorations 5, they're really great hands-on, but it's not the real art world.
That's a good point, and this exhibit is very rich in terms that there's a lot of informational signage that lets you delve deeper into Marc Chagall's life and his work. And at each station there is actually a little telephone that you can pick up, and they'll talk about that particular painting that component is dealing with. So it is a very rich exhibit that way and very educational.
Is there an target age range for this exhibit, or is it really just anybody who comes to the museum? It's
really great for anybody. I mean, in general, the Children's Museum targets ages 2 to 12 for children, but this exhibit is really, really good for adults also. I mean, it really is a very good educational experience. It's a beautiful exhibit, reproductions of his famous works. So it really is for all ages.
So something to draw the parents in as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So the Children's Festival, it's happening on April 12th, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So is this an annual event, or is this the first one?
This is an annual event.
Okay.
The Children's Festival has actually been going on many, many years, decades even. It was hosted by a different group up until several years ago when the museum took it over. So we fill up Munn Park with all kinds of hands-on activities, and the children get to experience these activities, and they get to create, they get to explore. We have entertainment. We're going to have different stations, again, but they're outdoors, and usually it's a wonderful spring day. It's a wonderful time to get outside with the kids. But included in their price of admission to the festival is the fact that they can come into the museum and check out the museum as well. And then around the 11 o'clock hour, we want to premiere the Chagall for Children exhibit and hopefully get some folks in there so that they can actually see what this exhibit consists of and start teaching their children a little bit about art.
Okay. So for people who, maybe for parents who have never brought their kids to the museum, this is a nice little introductory. But for people who are members, there's still more to do.
Yes, right, that's correct.
So so how much is admission?
It's $5 per person.
Okay.
If you are a museum member, it's $2.50. And those very nominal fees include all of the activities that they get to do out in the park, as well as I mentioned, exploring the exhibits inside the museum too.
That's a really fair price for
it's a great price.
The entire Munn Park plus all. Is it 3 stories or 4 stories at the museum?
We actually have 4 stories. Our top story is used for tutoring and test prep, but the other 3 floors have all kinds of hands-on and interactive exhibits for the children and their adults to explore.
Now, the cost is, as we said, it's very fair, but you, I know that you have to do a lot of fundraising in order to keep those costs low for everybody, and you have an event coming up at the end of March, which is your annual fundraiser, right?
Right, it's one of our big fundraisers. This is called Night at the Museum, and this particular event gives the adults the opportunity to come out and play at the museum. Usually they come and they play with their kids, but this particular night, on March the 29th, they get to come on a date night or come with a group of their friends and explore the exhibit, as well as look at some silent auction items, taste some food from the different restaurants in the area, and just have a good time at the event.
Okay, and there's going to be live entertainment and all that, right?
Yes, we have a band that's going to be coming, and they'll be entertaining throughout the evening, and just having a good time. We had a great time last year, doing a little dancing, doing a little partying, having a lot of fun.
Is there any finger painting at the Night at the Museum?
I'm not sure what's on the agenda this year, but Eddie might have an idea as to what some of us might do.
The attendees for Night at the Museum are going to get a little sneak preview of one of the activities at Children's Festival.
Okay.
And that is, they're going to be able to build their own droid, a Star Wars droid. I've brought one here for you.
Okay.
Already assembled.
Wow.
And this is for you.
Oh, it's so cute.
And
he has a little Yoda hat.
there are many different designs and styles, and they'll be able to make their own droid. And everyone at Children's Festival will be able to make their own droid and bring it home with them.
That's really cute. Now, is there a specific organization sponsoring it? Disney or Star Wars?
These are Star Wars droids, and they were all donated to the museum by Disney.
Wow.
So
That's really fancy.
We're very excited about that.
Yeah. Do you have any other sponsors that you'd like to thank or mention?
Yes, Chagall for Children is sponsored by Visit Central Florida.
Okay.
So this is the first time we've had an exhibit of this scale at the museum as a traveling exhibit. And so thanks to the Tourism Development Council, we're able to afford to bring in an exhibit like this and share it with the community.
Is this the first time that you've had a traveling exhibit of this size?
Well, we've had many traveling exhibits come in, but of this size, yes. This is the first time we've had one at this scale.
Okay. Well, talk to me a little bit about some of the everyday goings-on at the museum. Are you open 7 days a week, just 5?
We're open 6 days a
6
week.
days a week,
We're
okay.
open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So we hope that gives the families time to come in sometimes after school even, but especially on Saturdays where we have birthday parties and different events going on throughout the year.
Okay.
Are usually held on Saturdays so that we can get parents and children involved in the different things that we do throughout the year, whether it be a fundraiser or whether it be a special event, such as the Children's Festival. We want the community to know all about what we do there.
Now, are there after-school programs or activities? I think you mentioned test prep. So can kids come to the museum to get help for that?
We do have a tutoring department
Okay.
now, and our academics services director is Terry Loretta. And if parents are interested in learning more about our tutoring department, they can give her a call at the museum. We specialize in individual tutoring, so we cater to what the child's need, what the students' need might be, and it's not just children, it's sometimes
Adults.
college and adults. So that's a new endeavor for us, relatively new, where we work with the local students if they need assistance with test prep or any subject matter that they may be having difficulty with. We've also got that available.
Great, great. It sounds like Explorations 5 is really much more than just a children's museum.
I think that's pretty safe to say that we
Yes.
are.
So many things going on and so many activities for not just kids but adults as well.
That's true.
Well, thank you for coming on the show today to tell us about the new Chagall exhibit and the Children's Festival.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
So if you are a parent of some young children, you're going to want to make sure that you mark your calendars for the Children's Festival, the annual Children's Festival hosted by Explorations 5 in downtown Lakeland. It's happening on April 12th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Munn Park and the museum at 109 North Kentucky Avenue. Admission is $5 per person, that's kids and adults, or if you are a museum member, it's just $2.50. If you can't make it to the Children's Festival, you are going to want to try to catch the Chagall for Children exhibit, which will be hosted at Explorations 5 from April until July. And then also mark your calendars for the Night at the Museum fundraiser event. This one is for adults. It's on March 29th from 7 until 10 p.m. Tickets are $50, or if you're coming with a group, you can get a little bit of a discount. And it's going to include food, drinks, live entertainment, a silent auction, and getting to interact with all of the exhibits that are usually reserved just for kids. For more information, you can call 863-687-3869 or go online to explorationsv.com.